Hello, cuties. Welcome back to my channel. It's a second video today. I took a melatonin, and so I'm a little bit sleepy right now, but I'm really inspired to talk about this topic. I was very energetic in today's earlier video, and it's the end of the day. It's like 11 o'clock here. But I just wanted to come on and talk about love and talk about being love, giving love, receiving love, creating love in your life, what that means, what that really looks like. And obviously, this is something that I talk about on my channel a lot. My main focus is relationships, but today's earlier video was about not allowing people to treat you like shit anymore, right? And I saw, a few comments on there that I first want to clarify and talk about really quickly too. So, and this relates to creating love, creating consistent love in your life, creating the love that you want in your life, and what that actually looks like in a moment-to-moment basis. But to add to today's earlier point of no longer accepting or allowing people to treat you like shit, when I say remain non-reactive, that doesn't mean you silently allow somebody to treat you in a way that's not favorable. Okay. There is a huge, huge, huge difference between emotionally reacting to something and believing and assuming and expecting it to occur and having an internal dialogue that it's going to occur and knowing that it's going to occur. And then when it occurs, it triggers you and you emotionally react to it and you perpetuate a pattern with somebody. Okay. That is reacting and responding to your reality and breaking patterns, which is no longer emotionally feeling into it, no longer allowing it, not being quiet. You could say no, you could remove yourself in whatever way looks like for you that is comfortable for you and your own unique self-expression. When I say remain non-reactive, what I mean is you no longer perpetuate it by emotionally reacting to it and playing a part in how you are responding to it in the same way. Okay, so nope, this is not going to be the pattern anymore. Nope, I'm not going to, like, if you're not showing up in a way that I don't like, I'm not going to respond. If you're texting me and I don't like the way that you're texting me, I'm not going to respond because I don't feel the urgency surrounding needing to respond to you if you're not showing up the way that I desire. If you're in my life and in my physical reality, I think just getting up and walking away may be a little bit socially may create more issues because then it's like you're just ignoring me, you're leaving. And so that can be even a little bit more problematic, right? So I'm not saying that you should just ignore and walk away. When I say remain non reactive, that just means that how you respond to it, you're not recreating by giving the same emotional reactions. When I say, I'm not going to feel into this anymore. No, this is not going to be my experience. Sorry. No, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. Thank you for making me aware of this. However, I'm not going to do this with you. Thank you very much. I'm going to go do something else now. Okay. That is responding. That is not recreating. That is responding to what's going on around you, dealing with it, moving forward. And then as you move forward, you persist in a new knowing of how the person or the thing is going to show up for you. Okay. So I just want to make that really clear. Let's talk about love though. Okay. We're 3 minutes into the video and this is actually what I wanted to talk about. Okay. And this is something, even in my own journey, my own development journey, that I still will sometimes find myself struggling with. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning and growing on my own journey. I have a lot of things in my life as well, too, that, I have to really observe myself, observe why I'm viewing things the way that I'm viewing them, how I'm responding to them, what do I desire, and who's that version of me that's responding in that way, right? So I have to be aware of what I'm doing as well too. So a lot of what I'm talking about here on my channel, I'm applying is essentially what I'm saying. Okay. And one thing that I found myself struggle with, especially with love, and I think this is a common thing, is, you don't want to be a doormat. You don't want to accept treatment that you're not worthy of, but you don't want to allow the world or circumstances to jade you or create a negative narrative in your mind that cuts you off from being a loving person and doesn't allow for you to believe in yourself or believe in the people around you. Okay. Because that's really what being a conscious creator is I'm not looking to my external reality to tell me what's going to occur anymore. I'm going to believe in myself, decide for myself, reinforce myself, identify with myself in a new way. And then I'm also going to believe in the people around me. And I'm going to show up in a way where I can know that and reinforce that without trying to force it or manipulate it, but through this genuine knowing and just responding to my reality in a different way, I'm going to be able to create that result as I persist. And on that journey, you okay, Nico? Hey, cutie. He's sleeping. But on that journey, you know, there's a delicate balance with love in the sense of, like I was saying, you don't want to become jaded. You don't want to allow the experiences of the world to stop you from being a loving person that is supportive and giving. There's just a huge difference in how you do it. Okay. So when you are not, okay, and this can be viewed from so many different ways. So I'm gonna have to explain this from a few different angles. But from a purely a self-concept place, okay, when you don't have the best beliefs about your worth or your value and love and creating love in your life, you're more than likely going to be giving love or doing things or giving aspects of yourself in order to gain, right? So I'm not feeling love. Here's somebody in my life that's showing up. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for them because I'm not feeling and believing in myself in that way. I'm going to place that in them. And then if they don't reciprocate that, that's not going to feel good to me. And then I'm going to feel angry with them and upset that I did X, Y, or Z for them. Okay. And that could be a self concept thing, how you're valuing yourself, how you're perceiving yourself, or what you believe about relationships. Or it could, I really do think that does come from a self-concept thing, actually. I don't really see where that could be coming out from anywhere else, in the sense that when it comes to loving the people in your life and in your reality and creating the solution, you have to you have to be willing to stop keeping score of what you're doing, stop keeping score of how you're giving love or showing up or supporting the people around you. And really, again, this is going to sound really cliche, but it's actually so true. Okay. Realizing that love really does come from you. Okay. When you are operating through love, with no intention to gain, but purely just to be loving, you're not going to be finding yourself keeping score. You're not going to be finding yourself waiting. You're not going to be finding yourself getting frustrated if it's not being reciprocated to you. You're not going to find yourself creating negative narratives about the people in your life. You're going to already be feeling fulfilled within yourself and doing what you do because it's just who you are intrinsically, right? So I give love, or I'm loving, I'm supportive, not because I'm trying to gain something from you, but because that's just who I am. And if you're in my life and you're a part of my reality, I'm going to extend that and create that with you. The reason why this is really important is for multiple, actually, there's multiple reasons. But first off, when you know your worth and your value and your self concept and your beliefs about love and yourself and your ability to create love in your life are aligned, you are already going to be feeling fulfilled and satiated and happy and loved within yourself. It's not going to be something that's external. Okay. The second aspect to that as well, too, is when we are doing things to gain, okay, that is very evident, right? So when our intentions and how we're operating is for an ulterior motive, even if that's a pure ulterior motive, okay, that can be felt, that can be seen, and you're not going to really be able to hide that, okay? And and even in unconscious ways when you're doing that. So how this materializes later on, we'll talk about that in terms of like fights and getting angry and feeling resentful and stuff like that. But in the moment, there is a huge difference in the tone and quality of how you're showing up and how you're operating when you are doing something from just a place of being loving and not expecting anything in return, and then doing something to gain or receive as a reciprocation. Not that you're not worthy of that reciprocation, you're absolutely worthy of it, but you will naturally gain that reciprocation when you're not doing things to gain it, is what I'm trying to explain. Okay. And so the way that you do that is by making sure that you already feel loved and whole and complete within yourself. Okay. By making sure that those beliefs are aligned. And this is really important now to go to what I was saying earlier about later on and how this materializes. We do have wants and needs. We do deserve reciprocation. We do deserve somebody to be supportive towards us as well too. And again, like I was saying in today's earlier video, you don't deserve somebody treating you like shit, and you shouldn't allow that experience to be occurring, right? So it has to be this balance of knowing your worth, engaging, believing, persisting, assuming, and knowing, and then knowing when to take a step back and prioritize yourself and not engage because how somebody's showing up is not what you deserve. And you can do that in a very mature, emotionally non-reactive way, a way that is attractive, that isn't argumentative, that will create the result that you desire. Okay. So in the context of being able to create this result consistently in your life and operating through love, when you are able to silence like silence the need for the reciprocation and oh, I'm getting tired, you guys. Now my melatonin is kicking in. Essentially, the point that I'm trying to make is when you can get those beliefs aligned within yourself and instead of allowing somebody to show up and treating you in an improper way because you need love from them, when you are already whole and complete within yourself and you're giving and you're not keeping score, you're going to be feeling good within yourself already. You're not really going to be caring. You're not going to be paying attention to what they're doing or what they're not doing. Again, like I was saying, you deserve that reciprocation, that support, and that love. But when it comes to breaking undesirable patterns in your life, when you are so hooked up on, I've done this for you, I've done this for you, I've done this for you, you treated me wrong here, you did this here, you did this here, you're not operating through love. Okay. And it's really easy to get caught up in that. And this is kind of what I was saying at the beginning, where I have struggled sometimes in my own journey, because, yeah, when you are a supportive, loving person that is, in a relationship or giving aspects of yourself to somebody, I think that can be a scary thing. Like I'm doing a lot, I'm showing up, I'm operating this way, but you have to always remind yourself and bring yourself back to that, knowing that that is a decision within yourself. So if you do anything for anybody, that is a decision within you. Okay. And you have to make that decision with clarity and confidence and knowing and not expect that that is going to be reciprocated back to you or that that needs to be reciprocated back to you. And essentially when you operate that way, you're going to drop that version of you that wants to be resentful, that version of you that is keeping score, that version of you that is angry or jaded or doesn't feel loved or like you're getting the reciprocation. Because in those moments when things get tough, okay, if the first thing you do is say, I've done this for you, I've done this for you, I've done this for you, okay, why are you not loving me the way that I deserve to be loved? Well, your partner or whoever you're with or whatever you're doing for whoever, they're not obligated to reciprocate. They will, okay, but they're not obligated to. And when you realize that people are not here to you're not here to gain thing from people, anything from anybody. You're here to create the experience and share the experience and know it into being. You're going to be able to operate in a way where that becomes a consistent thing. Okay. And when you don't allow your mind to go to that space of I did this for you, 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 why are you not treating me properly? When you can drop that and just go into, wait, I just love this person, or I love this career, I love this job, I do these things because I love this and that's coming from me and that's a choice within myself. Whether that's reciprocated or not, I'm not going to get angry or bitter or create a negative narrative. I'm going to believe in the best of the people around me. When you're operating that way, you're going to naturally drop the focus on those things. And when you drop the focus on those things, you're going to be able to persist in the knowing, and you're going to be able to continue to show up already feeling loved and lovable and being able to respond to your reality in a mature way and believe in the people around you. And you will see that the situations and the circumstances change and they continue to get better and better and better. And that love continues to get reciprocated to you. We get hooked up on life way too easily, right? Like we will keep track of what somebody is doing, what somebody is not doing. If they're respecting me, they're not respecting me, and I get it. Okay, again, somebody that struggles with this sometimes too. I get it. But you also always have to remember that with whatever you're creating in your life, that is a personal decision for you. So if you're doing anything for anybody, first off, they should not be treating you with a love or a way of being that you don't deserve. Okay. And you can change that dynamic if that's what's been going on. But second off, with whatever you do, it should always be coming from a loving place. And when it's actually always coming from a loving place, you're not going to be keeping score. You're not going to be argumentative. You're not going to be feeling empty and needing this person to reciprocate it to you and putting your sense of love in them. You're going to be able to show up in a way where you're doing it from a place of pure enjoyment. Just that's who you are. And you're just a loving person. You already feel worthy and deserving and chosen and amazing about yourself. And you're sharing that. And whether that's reciprocated or not, you're already feeling good within yourself. And through operating that way, you're going to see that it does actually get reciprocated to you. It can be a hard kind of adjustment though, because I think in our society, um, we are kind of living in a world where like we are, how do I say it? Like entitled in that sense. Okay. And you totally deserve the love that like you deserve that. I'm not saying you are entitled to love and reciprocation and these things, but it's just the way that you're operating. Right. So it's going to be very difficult to get the love that you desire if you're always doing everything with an ulterior motive and then you're keeping score and then you're argumentative and pointing fingers and resentful and angry. It's going to create negatively in your life. And then you're persisting in an internal dialogue that this person never gives me the love that I deserve. They never show up properly for me. And in the moment when you're fighting with them, that's exactly what you will say. And then you're surprised why you keep recreating the same thing. Well, that's where you have to take ownership and accountability. Okay. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm doing it because I love you. Okay, I love you. So whether you do this back to me or not, I still love you and I'm going to believe in you. I'm going to believe in myself and I'm going to make sure that I'm happy and I'm good and I'm fulfilled within myself so that I don't fall into a pattern where I feel like I need you to show up in a certain way. And if you don't show up that way, I'm going to argue with you. Yes, I have needs and wants and desires, and I have emotional needs that need to be met as well too. But I'm the person that has to meet that. A partner isn't there to fix your problems. They're there as a supporting guide. They're there to share this life experience with you. Okay. And when you really create love as something within you, you're able to share that experience in a way that's sustainable because you're doing things from a pure place. Okay. So I know this is kind of ambiguous in terms, we're talking about love here, and love is a feeling state in it. And, it does translate in how you behave and interact throughout your reality. But I think a really, something that I've really strived to get within myself is, or into my mindset and how I'm operating is to remind myself that anything that I do it just from a loving place, just because I'm already fulfilled within myself and I already feel loved within myself and happy with myself. And whether I get that treatment in return or not, it doesn't really matter. Even with my YouTube channel, okay? Like I put all this information out here and all these things out here because I genuinely do like love you guys and I want you to learn and be able to apply. I don't expect anything in return, right? So, and I think that's why a lot of people vibe with me and love me in return because how I'm operating, there's no ulterior motive. And so you have to really see, and a lot of my content I've said it's really not a trying process. You really don't have to do anything to make somebody love you. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter the amount of money you have. It doesn't matter any of these things. It's who you are, what you believe about yourself, and how you're showing up. And when you get very, very solid within yourself, you're going to be able to love in that way. And you're going to realize that really at the end of the day, connection is all that really matters. Again, that doesn't make you a doormat. That doesn't mean that somebody shouldn't treat you in a way that isn't desirable. But to go to the point that I was just making, something that's really helped me with realizing this and applying this is if I find myself getting frustrated, or I find myself wanting to emotionally react, or I find myself in a situation where I want to be like, I'm doing this for you, blank, and figure out the rest of that sentence or however that could escalate and unfold. I just try and bring it back to myself and remind myself if I ever do anything, I'm doing it just purely from a place of love. And whether that person reciprocates it or not, that was never the intention. The intention was not to gain. Okay. And I know that saying this or projecting this or getting angry and pointing fingers and saying, you're doing this, I did this for you, this, any sort of operating like that is not going to create the result that I desire. Now I'm going to start creating a pattern that's not desirable. Then we're going to start fighting more, whatever it may be, and it's going to get really ugly. So let me remind myself that I don't ever do anything to gain. I do it just because that's who I am, because I'm a loving person and love is coming from me. There's an abundance of love within me. There's an abundance of happiness within me. And I'm just sharing that. And because I'm just sharing that, I really don't need anything in return. And because I don't need it, the cool thing is you'll find when you remind yourself that, oh, wait, I'm not going to say that. It's actually not a big deal. I'll handle whatever's going on in front of me maturely and calmly. And I'm going to step in with good beliefs about myself, good beliefs about this area of my life, and persist in a positive awareness, assumption, narrative of this person, and know that through operating this way, even if there's a problem, we're going to be able to persist and overcome and achieve what we desire together, which is sharing this life or creating this amazing career, and everybody's happy and stable and abundant and moving towards what they desire. And so saying that or acting that way, that's not really in that picture. So let me remind myself why I do what I do. It's not to gain, it's because that's who I am. It's not because I need anything, it's because I'm just a loving person. And when you operate, again, from that stance without ulterior motives, you will naturally drop this entire focus and this resentment, or focus on all the things that you've done for somebody, and you're going to be able to connect with them and love them and enjoy them again in the way that will create the connection and relationships that you desire. Okay. So that's all I have to say about this topic. This was my melatonin nightly talk about love. I hope you enjoyed it. You know what inspired this too? My partner and I just watched the movie Selena, and it was a really good movie. And that's just something that I really like saw in her portrayed in that movie, was just somebody that is so loving and so authentic to themselves and has so much love and self-belief within themselves, and doesn't do anything for ulterior motives, but it's just so joyful and complete within themselves that they create that experience with the people around them. So if you haven't gotten the chance to watch that movie, you should watch it. It's a really good movie. Sad story, but good movie. So anyways, I'm going to get going. I hope you have a beautiful night. I hope you gain some perspective shifts from this. Again, don't allow people to treat you in a way that you don't deserve, but, you know, have have the level of awareness to realize that, like, we all are struggling to a certain degree with something. Okay. And I've said in content before, even if people have limiting beliefs in your life, that doesn't matter. You can still create what you desire. But if somebody's treating you in an undesirable way, don't emotionally react to it. Don't feed into it, but also don't create a negative narrative about them or start labeling them in a negative manner or coming in with negative assumptions about them, or just saying that's who they are and that's who they're always going to be and they're never going to change. Okay. If you really want to turn something around operating that way, you're playing into it. Okay. At a certain point, you should decide, you know what? If I really want to create the result here, first off, I'm not going to accept that treatment. Second off, I realize that everybody here is struggling. I'm struggling sometimes. Okay. So I'm not going to make you feel bad. Okay. And I'm also not going to create a negative narrative about you. And I'm going to monitor why I do what I do. I do it from a place of love. And I'm also going to believe in you. And I'm going to believe in that version of you in a way that feels good to me, that isn't obsessive, where I can still enjoy my life and go about my life, living it happily, and really show up as the change that I want to experience and inspire that change, create that change, persist in that change until that is my dominant life. Okay. That is what I'm actually experiencing. Because, yeah, to create the changes that you want in your life, you're going to have to see past where you are. Even if people are treating you like crap, labeling them as like an asshole, that's not going to help. Okay. Persisting in a story about them, how they're a piece of crap that never respects you, and then they're showing up that way, that's not going to help. Okay. That might be the case right now. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I can understand why some of you say these things, but if you really want to create the change, you're going to have to view your reality in a new way and take care of yourself and build yourself up. And then when it feels good, persist in a new awareness of the people around you and genuinely show up in a way that can create that. Okay. And always do that from a place of love. When you're operating from love, as cliche as it may sound, when you are operating from love, that is going to be where you are able to create the results that you desire, because it really does come from a pure place. Okay. And that's love, again, as an experience within you that you're sharing with others, not gaining. You will have your needs. You will get reciprocation and all these things, but it starts with you being it first. Okay. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful night. I'm going to go to sleep now. I'm definitely tired. So I'll see you all later. Bye.